don't see the chat, right?
Get this sweet blood.
Started here.
Okay, Jivali, तुझको important question में तो पूछे. The other questions I'll answer at the end. Okay. You got it, Raji? Okay.
Okay. Great.
So if you turn it around, I can see the chat.
You can read.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, people are watching.
Okay.
One more minute. This thing is starting in 1 minute.
यहाँ पे तो crooked लगे. Okay. Namaste. Good morning, India. Good evening, West Coast. The name of the recipe that we are doing today is called Dhansak and Rice. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Dhansak. Dhansak is a Parsi dish and it's quite popular in Bombay. And it's very popular in Bombay. It's going here. Turn off, guys. Sorry, guys. Just a second. I can turn it off. Yeah. So I grew up in Bombay, and I had quite an exposure to the Parsi community. And the way I learned this dish was from my aunt, who used to run the kitchen at the Tata Memorial Hospital some 60 years ago. And it had just started, and she learned this recipe, the vegetarian version of it, and since then we have been making it. If you're from Bombay, I only know one restaurant, So, near Chowpatty, that's where you get this. Okay, so we are going to start with the recipe. It says brown rice, but it's not actually brown rice. It is white rice which is caramelized and made brown. Okay, so the way this recipe is going to be happening is we have all these dals, the lentils,
Slowly. Yeah.
and we add all the vegetables to it, and then we are going to cook it, and then we are going to spice it and flavor it. Okay, We are going to start with the rice first because we have very short time in this show here, and I have pre-prepared some of the Dhansak ingredients. So let's start with the rice first. Okay, so here are the rice ingredients right here. Simple. We have the rice, the basmati rice, some sliced onions, some sugar, and some Amul ghee. Okay, and that's about it for the rice. And we are going to make brown rice, and I'll show you how. And it is a really delicious rice. I have already soaked the rice about half an hour ago. Whenever you prepare basmati rice and you want like a biryani rice, or you want every grain separate, soak the rice for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so you rinse it 2 or 3 times and soak it, and I have done that. So, and I have a pan here, and we are going to cook the rice first. Okay, so we turn this on, all right, and we add some ghee, about a teaspoon of Amul ghee, and we will also add some oil. Okay, when you add a little bit of oil, the ghee doesn't kind of get burnt. All right, so we do that. I hope you got the ingredients for the rice. It's just sliced onions, rice, ghee, a little bit of oil, and sugar. So now to make the rice brown, we are going to caramelize the sugar. Okay, you know, you might have heard of caramel custard. It's also made the same way. So you brown the sugar, that makes it a brown color. We are also going to brown the rice along with the sugar. Okay, and you'll see how beautiful it turns out. So here it is. While this is heating, I'm going to show you what I have done for the Dhansak itself. I have a pressure cooker in which I have washed and rinsed. These are all the ingredients for the Dhansak.
Wait.
And I hope you can see them all at one shot properly. These are the ingredients for the Dhansak. Okay,
Explain.
it's the tuar dal, about 6 tablespoons, moong dal, 4 tablespoons, chana dal, 4 tablespoons, about 1 chili chopped, 3 little brinjals, about little less than a cup of chopped pumpkin, 1 cup of methi leaves, and some spring onions. Okay, in India you get the little baby methi leaves. If you get those, it's much better. I'm located here in the US, and we don't get those baby leaves, and I grow them in the home, but I haven't been able to do it. So this is a substitute. I took all of this, put it in the pressure cooker with like 3 cups of water, and just at a high whistle for 2 or 3 times, low for 15 minutes with some haldi and salt. Okay, and I have already prepared that and cooled it. So I'm going to leave that aside. In the meanwhile now, we'll get the rice ready. It's starting to warm up. So what we do is we add a couple of teaspoons of sugar to it. Okay? And you just heat the sugar with this, and you'll see how brown it turns. In the meanwhile, I am going to drain the rice. Okay? Just a moment. And we are browning the sugar here. I don't know how many of you know the story of how the Parsis arrived in India. For those who don't know, I want to share a little story while we are cooking this rice. Okay, the Parsis arrived in India in about the 10th century from Persia. Okay, and they were Zoroastrians. and they were persecuted in Persia. So they decided to come to India. And first, the Zoroastrian king sent his messenger to Sanjan in Gujarat. And when he came there, he said, we would like to move here to India, to Gujarat, because we are being persecuted in Persia. And the king told his minister to take a cup and fill it up with milk. Symbolic, we have no space here, so we cannot let you come and live in our country. So the messenger went back to Iran and showed that milk cup. So the king of Zoroastrian people was very smart. He took some sugar and he mixed it in the milk and he sent it back to Sanjan. When the messenger came back and the king of Sanjan saw that, he said, what is this? He said, we will mix with you like the sugar mixed in milk. And that's how the Parsi community has mixed in India. And they are very sweet people, and we are starting with some sugar here. So that is the story of the Parsis, how they arrived in India. And here we are browning the sugar. See, this is a very beautiful rice. Rice is a very simple dish, but still so many of us don't know how to make proper rice. It took me a long time to perfect a rice for biryani or for a pulao. And this is very similar, and you'll see how it turns out, okay? So it's starting to brown very nicely, the sugar. And while the sugar is browning, I have a cup of sliced onions here, okay? And I'm going to add the onions also to this, okay? And we are going to roast it really good. The onions are going to turn really nice and brown. And you'll see what we do with this. So to 1 cup of rice, we are going to add 2 cups of hot water later. So while the onions are roasting, I'm going to quickly get 2 cups of hot water. Okay. And we'll nicely brown the onions, just like in a biryani. Okay. We are in California, and we had opened up quite a bit, but starting today we are back in a lockdown. So life has again gone back to a lockdown mode. But I think this COVID times gave all of us opportunity to indulge in our hobbies and learn new things, and I have done a lot of cooking, just like many of you must have. Okay, so look at how the onions are browning, and we are going to make them even more dark. Okay. In the meanwhile, if anybody has any questions, I think huge bunch of questions. I can't see them.
I'm not getting it.
Huh?
People are commenting, but it's past there. Superb.
So we are going to brown the onions real good. In the meanwhile, you see again what I have added for the dhansaak. The tuvar dal, chana dal, moong dal, pumpkin, chili, brinjal, methi leaves, spring onions. Cilantro is just for garnishing. Okay? So this is going on now. Okay. It will almost feel like we are burning the onion, but that's okay. We are charring it actually. Okay. And at the end of this, I hope you will all make this dish because it's very delicious, very healthy, very filling, you know. And you can make a big pot of it and the whole family can enjoy it. When in my childhood, actually, we used to have it every year on our Gujarati New Year called Bestu Varas, Sal Mubarak. We were so tired of eating the chevdo and the chakli and the gugra and everything that at the end of it, we wanted a sumptuous, simple meal, and this is what we used to have it with. And here we are browning the onion really good. And then soon we'll be adding the rice to this. See this, you can brown the onions so well in not much oil. We are not really frying them, which is so good. Because so often for biryani and all, you know, they ask us to fry the onions. And this is really, really good. I'm going to brown it even a little bit more. Okay, now from this I'm going to remove some of the onions, okay, just to garnish it at the end, and I'm going to brown these even a little bit more. Okay. So now we have browned sugar and browned onions in here. I'm going to add the rice. And nicely give it a nice stir. Okay. You see how the color is turning brown? There are many people who don't like brown rice because they don't find it as delicious as the white rice. So this is not really brown rice, it is browned rice. We are browning it. You know? So here goes all the rice. Nicely. See how beautifully the color is changing. Nicely stir it. And now we add to 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of hot water. Any of you who don't know how to perfect a basmati rice, you'll be very happy to do this because it will turn out really perfect. I've got 2 cups of hot water here. Okay. We bring it to a boil. See how beautiful this rice is looking already? This is the Dhansaak rice. Okay. Once it boils, we are going to cover it for 10 to 12 minutes and the rice will be beautiful. Okay. So I think it's almost ready. Let it get a nice boil. You see that? I'm going to turn it to low and actually we'll time it for 10 minutes and I'm going to switch it to the other side because we are going to start Dhansaak here. So let's time it for 10 minutes and it's going to my other side. Okay? In 10 minutes we'll turn that off. Alright. Okay. So now we have the Dhansaak mix here. I had a pressure cooker, a Vinod pressure cooker actually from India, and I have everything boiled together. Like I told you, it was 3 whistles and then I turned it on low. And now we are going to blend this. Okay? You take a hand blender and you just blend it. All right. So we have, this is the biggest amount of work, you know, chopping, cutting everything and blending it together, cooking it. So we have the dal ready here. So here it is, and I had boiled it, I think I told you, with some haldi and some salt. Okay, so now you know all the ingredients. We are going to move this out and we are going to get all the masalas here. Okay. Okay. Hope you can see this. All these are the spices for the dhansaak. I have dhania jeera powder. I have some more salt if we need. Some lemon juice. Some chili powder. A little bit more haldi if we want to add a little more color. Some lemon juice. And we are going to do some baghar with onions and garlic. Okay. So now we have this dhansaak here. I'm going to add the spices. The garam masala is what I prepare myself. Okay. So I roast like cinnamon, cloves and peppercorns. I roast them and blend them and keep it ready. So we'll add about a teaspoon of the garam masala powder. Okay. And like 2 or 3 teaspoons of dhania jeera powder. You know, cooking can be very specific, but you still have to be intuitive. And you know, be in tune with your taste and how much you like of the spices. I'll give you more or less the ingredients that work very well for me. Okay. So here is the dhania jeera powder. We add the chili powder. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/global vegetarian cooking. Please go on that. If you want a recipe, you can message me on there. I also have an Instagram page, Kalpana Jaswa. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more haldi. Okay. And a little bit more salt actually, because I had added just a teaspoon and a half. We are going to need a little bit more. Now I'm going to raise the temperature. And I'm going to add all the garam masala actually. I think it will go well and the color will turn out also good and it won't be too spicy. See, this has got so many vegetables, all these dals. It's so wonderful. I think we have a few more minutes for our rice. Let me just check. And now we can add the lemon juice. Okay. And I'm going to do some baghar in the same pot here. I'm going to move this here so you can also probably see it better. I have a pan here. And in this, I'm going to add like a couple of teaspoons of oil. Okay. It's not very oily. It's really, really good. And then we are going to saute the onions. See, if you look at it right now, it's very easy. It just takes a lot of preparation. I started preparing for this quite a few hours ago, and I thought I was going to take a little nap, but it really didn't work like that.
So Mona, Grug likes your sari. What's so special about your sari?
My sari is a handloom sari. It's a handloom sari. I decided to wear a sari Gujarati style because Parsis wear sari in this way. Okay, so here I'm going to add the onions to this, chopped onions. We are going to cook them. I actually bought this sari all the way in Madurai so many years ago. So we're going to saute the onions. I think everybody is getting this recipe very well, very easy, right? But so good. You know, you can eat this with some papad and some kachumbar. Tomato and onions, you chop it up. I'll show it to you when we plate it. And the Parsis have like cutlets with that and some parathas. If you want to make it into a feast, you can do that. We are just lightly cooking the onions till they are transparent, not trying to brown them. They may turn a little bit brown. My dad used to have a lot of Parsi friends. I was hoping I'll connect with somebody here because we've lost touch with all of them. One was Dara uncle, Dara Rupa, maybe his children are watching this show. One was Barrister Merchant. One was Minibin Botwala. Today I'm remembering everybody because I grew up with all these people. Now we are not in touch with them, don't know where they are, don't know where their kids are. Okay, so this is done here. The onions are cooked and I'm going to add it to the Dhansaak. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit more of oil to get the garlic done. Okay. And we'll have the garlic and we'll lightly saute that. And this is done. And here we add it to this. And this is the beautiful dish of Dhansaak. You see how lovely it looks? It's really a very yummy dish. I'm really hoping that everybody will try it. Okay?
So Priya's asking, can they do garlic and onion at the same time?
You know, you can, but it kind of gets burnt. So it is better to do it separately. You can do it at the same time, but I think this gives you the right color. So now, our rice has been 10 minutes, okay? It is done. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to show you how it looks. I would love to know how many people know about Dhansaak from those who are watching. It'd be wonderful to know.
Quite a few people said their mothers cook it.
Oh, so it's not new for them. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. The rice is done. Oh, that's so nice. I'm sure everybody is learning cooking from their mothers, right?
Do they need Dhansaak masala?
I don't need it. If you want to add Dhansaak masala, you can, but I make my own masala. I just showed you. I made my garam masala. Many people blend the masala and make it more laborious. This is a fantastic Dhansaak and it will not miss any flavors.
So Pitri would like a quick recap.
Okay, the quick recap is you take tuvar dal, chana dal, moong dal, pumpkin, spring onions, chili, methi leaves and brinjals. You chop it all together, you put it in a pressure cooker with some salt and haldi powder. Okay? And then you have the whole blend ready. And then you add all the masalas. The garam masala, the salt, the lemon juice, the haldi powder, the chili powder. And then you do the bagar with the onions and the garlic. And that is what the whole Dhansaak is. Okay? And that's that. And then the rice, I'm going to show it to you here. See how the rice looks. We're going to let it cool for just a minute. We only have a couple of minutes. But you see how beautiful the rice is. And you let it, if you let it cool a little bit, you should let, every grain will be separate. Okay? Just let it cool a little bit and every grain will be separate. So this is a very sure recipe. We are going to quickly chop some cilantro for garnish. Okay? And we are done. I'm going to show you how this works. I normally use cutting board, but I think I'm going to just do it like the original way, where your fingers can get hurt. But okay. So this is that. We are going to plate the Dhansaak. I told you that, you have it with like onion, tomato, kachumbar. Just chop it up finely. Add a little bit of cilantro to that with some salt. We are going to have the Dhansaak in this bowl.
Priya Rajpal would like to come over. She's in California.
Oh, really? Come over. We are in curfew though. But you can come over. This is very delicious, I'll tell you that. It's really, really yum.
Do you use methi leaves at all?
Methi leaves, I added to this.
Okay. Add it to the Dhansaak.
Yeah, it was added to the Dhansaak. Sorry if I didn't recap it, okay? And here is the rice. And you put it here. I think it looks so delicious. It's way past dinner time, or we would have wanted to eat this. And you put these browned onions on it. Okay? And you add a little bit of cilantro to that. And here is your Parsi dish ready. A complete meal. Dhansaak, the browned rice and the kachumbar. Okay? Thank you so much for watching my show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, reach out to me on my Facebook page or my Instagram page and enjoy and stay safe. Stay well, everybody. Thank you.